episode 19, talking Bold City news, Netflix and Neduecker, Boldcastify sports, technology, and news of the weird. Thanks for joining us. My name's Clay.
My name's Jay.
This is Robert.
I'm Justin.
Let's get started.
Intuition Manifest host a Florida Georgia block party. We'll start at 3:30 p.m. October 29th. That sounds like a bowl of fun.
It's a mess right there, I'm going to be honest.
Hopefully that street gets closed off because, yes, it will definitely be a mess.
That's the day of the game?
Yeah.
Ain't gonna be no parking down there?
I don't know what their plan is, but that's what they're doing.
It's a block party, not a parking party.
I guess you just Uber into
Exactly,
the
it's an
city.
Uber
Yeah,
process.
that's their plan.
Yeah.
You can't get into the game, you get in there.
I don't go down unless I have a ticket for the cocktail party. Not that it's not worth going. I remember running into a dude, and he was just hopping from tailgate to tailgate to tailgate, and he was a big old Ole Miss fan because it's not about that. It's about the party. The party's just so big, but it's so much work. I'm not going to do it unless I got a ticket to the game.
Fair enough, makes sense. Yeah, I've been twice. It's a neutral fan. It wasn't bad, but I mean, it's definitely a game you have to go to at least once for the pageantry and everything. It's very cool, especially to see how it's nicely split down the
center. Yeah.
It used to be split in quarters.
Yeah, they do sections. If it's going great for your team, that's a lot of fun. If it's going bad for your team, that's terrible.
Right. I'm kind of been split. I've been to one Georgia one, one Florida one.
And yeah, the game itself is cool, but the game is more about
The pageantry.
the tailgate.
Yes, the tailgating.
That has already started.
Yes, oh yeah, it started after the Jaguar game, or during the Jaguar game, actually. And with that, you said there's actually going to be something going on with Intuition on Thursday night? Jason?
Yes, Thursday night. Thursday night, as you guys know, we're avid Jaguar fans, at least most of us. They are at 7 p.m. The Intuition Ale Works will be hosting a watch party. It is kind of pricey. It's $40 per ticket, but I believe it's all you can eat. Bistro X, Black Sheep, El Diasco, Mojo No. 4, Ovente, and beer. I mean, it's
That actually is a good deal.
so. I mean, if you manage yourself, you can really maximize your amount of money spent.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a
The
good,
problem is once you spend it, you're kind of committing to watching the whole Jaguars game.
yeah.
You can't leave because $40, you got to be there the whole game.
That's the downside.
But let's be
No one
honest.
wants to watch that whole
Let's be honest. No one stopped watching the whole game so far this year.
Incorrect. I know a few people that have already exited out.
Well,
Bold City Batman did not even make it through the third quarter.
Yes.
wow.
He actually had an apology on Twitter if he touched anyone inappropriately. It was pretty funny.
So yeah, that tells you something.
We're going through hard times as a fan base.
It's right. It's not good for the team. It's not good for Jet.
I mean, and I think, isn't there like Game 3 of the World Series on tomorrow night? Anyways,
So you just change the channel.
yeah, change the channel.
Change the channel, enjoy some food.
So yeah, let's flip over and watch two teams that haven't won a World Series in more than a century, or
That's
at least
honestly-
half a century or a century.
As somebody who hates baseball, I kind of can't watch a whole game of baseball. That's still 1,000 times more interesting
In a Jaguar game?
than what the Jaguars are doing right now.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
They're not playing at home, right?
No,
Then they might win.
maybe. It's a good
If they can't
possibility.
win at home, they haven't shown they can.
The first game was a home win.
What?
yeah,
Wow,
sure.
so long
This is
ago.
London.
How to say?
So with that, moving on to some other news, the city council signs off and approves the Main and Six Brewery.
Which is a little intriguing. So that actually pushes forward. The Bono's Barbecue Brewery and Tap House, I guess. That actually, which is kind of cool.
That means these churches are going to be subjected to seeing drunken.
No, not
Debauchery.
true. Not true. They are not allowed to serve alcohol outside of the building on Wednesday evenings and Sunday.
Okay, so are they going to have like an outdoor patio, but they're going to shut it down?
I assume so. It doesn't really elaborate right now. The only 3 people that didn't vote on it, voted against it out of the 17, were Councilman Doyle Carter, John. Shoot, I cannot even.
Buscemi?
Yes, and Bill Gulliford. The brewery was required approval because it sits within 1,500 feet of churches, meaning it needed a waiver under the city's zoning code. Which that's kind of confusing, but I understand it.
That makes sense.
Luckily, zoning codes don't really mean anything in Jacksonville, and they get deviations all the time.
Yes.
This is one time where it works out in our favor.
The committee actually had some pastors show up. We're in favor of the business. Tom Lewis, who describes himself as a minister and educator, spoke in favor of the development, saying that breweries and church congregations could work together, pointing to the events like the Silver Cow's monthly beer and hymns.
I remember I used to go to a church that had a weekly meeting. It was pizza and Jesus. No, beer and Jesus. There was also pizza and Jesus.
That's a nice combination. Pizza.
They were great.
You might actually get me to go. They have that.
It was a good church.
Or the collaboration of Vendors United and Intuition Works have struck with local churches and congregations.
It's very good for Springfield.
Yes, and
Very, very good.
said that they interviewed a couple people. One named Mrs. Gibson, Springfield Roses, says she'd like to see more business in the community that she could support. I live here in Springfield. I work in Palatka. I shop at the town center at St. Augustine, River City, outside my community. I'd love to be able to spend my dollar where I live. That's where I'm going to get the most bang for my buck. I totally understand. She is probably going bankrupt driving as far around as she's driving.
Did you say Palatka?
Yeah, she works in Palatka, lives in Springfield, and drives to the River City Marketplace.
My thing is, why can't she find a job closer? What are you working in Palatka for? What is there to do in Palatka?
I don't even know.
There you go. You found the only economic stimulus in Palatka. Right there.
On aisle 3 at their Walmart.
And with that, we're going to slide on to the council approves an emergency legislation for a $7.5 million Dune restoration project. They had an emergency meeting. Basically, it's got to get done.
And it's kind of not necessarily the smartest way to do it.
No.
Because they're not waiting on FEMA money and state money, right?
Exactly.
They're just doing
as far as I know, they just went ahead with it.
Well, my understanding, didn't they already have funds for this already set up before the hurricane?
Yes.
Well, some of those funds that are already set up are that, like, okay, well, we know that FEMA's here to help with those kind of situations, and we know the state will give us money. But it's just like, we don't have time for that. Let's just pay for it now. It's kind of weird.
Well, I understand they actually had funds ready for the dunes before the hurricane.
Yes, I don't think it was that much, though.
Well,
No, it
no,
wasn't
actually,
close to
they had $13.5 million set for the Dune replacements.
Wow.
All set aside already.
What's the 7.5 then for?
Additional to because of what's gone.
Oh, so a total of $20 million?
That was like
been
ongoing work on the dunes, right? Because of
Been on
erosion.
sand.
just
Because of erosion and
Nice.
damage and everything. But this authorizes a bill for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to request proposal contractors that's been digging and add more to the sand and all that jazz.
Does this mean we're going to end up with like a shell beach?
I hope not. I really hope
hate
not.
that.
I hate shell beaches. I miss our beach.
My feet hates them.
Yes.
No one likes
you
shell
got,
beaches.
you got to walk with flip-flops on the sand. It sucks.
Yeah.
So hopefully they get wrapped up and we get our dunes back. But not a crappy dune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In other news, the Skinner family decides to sell more land around the town center. So expansion coming to the town center.
Yeah, we already pretty much knew that was inevitable. I mean, now they're spending on the other side of the lake. I mean, come on. It's just like going to be a clusterfuck of traffic over there.
Well, they did. I know with newer construction stuff going on over there, they're requiring if you want to build over here, you have to like pay for your own roads and like help with constructing roads that'll help with traffic. I think IKEA has to do that.
Yes.
And so they are in a situation where we probably should be with our urban core. That's where they are with the South Side now, where they can actually kind of make demands of developers. That's good and bad.
It is. The real estate firm that built St. Augustine's Palencia development has already closed on more than 100 acres over there near the lake, and it's incredible. They paid just over $20 million.
Is that? Do you have like a map of it?
It's right around Gate Parkway exit, right?
Yes.
So it's the exit before the town center.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's
And
Gate
you got that
Parkway.
getting developed. You got the area across from the town center getting developed. You've got the Top Golf that just went in. IKEA that's about to go in.
Looks like it's Gate Parkway. JTB's to the south of it.
Dang.
And
I mean that
Blunt Mill Road.
There's gonna be so much. There's gonna be so much dang traffic over there. Not that I don't frequent that place because I really truly don't. But I will go there this Christmas and pick up a few items because let's face it, there are some things that you can get over there that you can't get anywhere else.
Like a Tesla.
Yeah, like a Tesla.
Everyone needs a Tesla. You gonna give me a Tesla, Robert?
Like a little
I can't
Costco
afford
store.
beef jerky, so no Tesla for you.
Only if you're good.
I'll try better.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Well, with that, maybe we'll get something fancy over there. They're kind of running out of room for sure. It's going to be really overpopulated over there.
I mean, it's already getting.
It is already getting there, but I mean, they're right there on the side of 295 and JTB.
Yeah,
that's how close they're getting.
They don't really care, do they?
No, not really. But
No, but you're starting to see some semblance of density, which is pretty weird.
yeah, it is.
It's going to be like a mega suburb.
There's a community meeting picking up where we were last week for the rap overlay.
Yeah. I think it's Wednesday, November 2nd. I think the big frustration part was, with a lot of people, was not the fact that the meeting was happening, but the fact that it ruined people's plans to go to Art Walk.
That's crappy.
It is. They're looking into trying to change it. They doubt it's going to happen, but they're still looking at different ways of going about it. So everyone can attend, possibly.
But why in the world is this happening? Like, things are going in the right direction right now, right? Like, they want more development.
It is. Just space is the issue for the most part.
The amount of traffic, what all spurred this along from doing a little bit more reading besides just the Jacksonville Business Journal and whatnot. It all started
Very
from
good
Roost,
source.
that on Oak Street.
You want to make sure they shut that door so
The upcoming roost.
it never happens again.
Well, I think they want to completely close that door so it doesn't even get off the ground. That's what I've read. I may have misread some things in it, but that's what I'm getting. And I think what it boils down to is they don't want. I can kind of play both sides because I love King Street, but at the same time I understand there are housing. There are houses there. There are people that gotta go to work in the morning.
Yeah.
And there's not enough parking, so the cars will be parked in front of people's homes. They'll be obnoxious at 2 a.m. That kind of thing. I understand.
Yeah, but based on the description of the place, you're not getting the garage. You're getting like Bold Bean. Like, it's a cafe that happens to sell a couple taps of beer, right?
It's going to be an open bar. Far as I've read, it's going to be
Yeah, it's
open
going to be a
bar.
little more open than that.
It's going to be open till 2 a.m.
So it's like 200 people.
Yeah,
Maybe
150 people.
something close to that Magnolia's place that's in Bar Hill now.
Yeah, about the size of Magnolia's in Murray Hill, absolutely. So I mean, I understand both sides of it. I love the fact that they are trying to make it walkable, but at the same time, I gotta break it down and go, okay, what if I was to live there? Would I want this across from me?
No, I mean, even personally, as I've looked to going back into Riverside, being someone who's lived there for 23 years, I've looked at everything. I mean, personally, I've kind of started looking at Murray Hill or somewhere just a little outside of it because of the traffic and because of how much is happening right there. I like it in the proximity, but it's way too active, way too close, way too much noise.
I'd say that's for sure right off of King Street. That would be.
It travels. It definitely travels, depending on where you're at. There's up and down parts of King Street.
Whatever street
Forbes can be.
Yeah, whatever street
Margaret.
Carmine's on.
That's Forbes.
I know. I walked down Forbes on a Friday night, and there are cars lining that street both sides.
Oh yeah, it's very active over there.
Yeah, what they did to College Street, painting those spots, wasn't the greatest.
Yeah,
That's part of the reason the whole thing. They went through Post, I think Park maybe. I know they went Post, College, maybe Forbes, and they did the same thing in Avondale.
Yeah.
With Riverside and St. John's. They're just trying to maximize all their space they possibly can.
But I mean,
the Riverside Renaissance has been very good.
Yes,
but there's only so much space, and you still have to cater to your residents.
Yes,
and eventually it's going to get to a tipping point to where it's less about serving people from outside the area, more about serving people in the area.
Right.
And then you're going to have you're going to have to figure out transit situations for Riverside.
Absolutely.
Which is what you do with a happening district.
And then there are the weird rules that I don't really like are you can't serve food past 8 o'clock.
No to-go food.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Past 8 o'clock, which that to me doesn't make any dang sense. And there was
over the top.
Yeah, some of the things we discussed last week. It's just crazy.
And then, like, they were limiting the amount of people that are allowed.
Yes, 90 people, I believe, are allowed in the establishment.
Yeah.
It's something that's got to be revised, but we'll look into it.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys
keep you posted. And one last reminder in local news is the barbecue contest coming up in Hemming Plaza, as we discussed last week, from 2 to 6.
Yeah, it's kind of good that they're already moving a lot of Florida Georgia festivities away from the Landing, because the Landing's been traditionally like the meeting
spot,
place for cocktail party stuff. But just go ahead and start moving people out of it now. It hasn't been demolished, but it sure looks like it's being prepped for it.
It doesn't look good. No one wants to be there. All right, and with that,
businesses.
No, I wouldn't want to be there. I wouldn't want my business to be there.
There's a sweet building where like the whole room is just filled with taxidermy now.
Where is this?
This is the Landing.
I want to go now. I love
Landing.
taxidermy.
Yeah, you can go to Hooters, and then after a while, after your meal, you can walk it off by just walking that creepy loop of empty buildings.
Oh yeah, there's so many hobos on the benches.
There's nobody actually. No one even knows.
No, I went there with my wife for the Pokemon Go crawl, and there's a lot of homeless people.
I didn't even have hobos when I walked in.
There was when I went.
Well, that tells you how bad it is down there, unfortunately. Maybe a little change will spike it up some. And with that, we're going to move to Netflix and Neduecker.
All right, so maybe a spoiler alert if you haven't seen the new Walking Dead premiere. I mean, don't listen to this segment. I don't know what else to say, but I thought it was awesome. They stuck pretty close to the comics. You got to see Glenn get his head bashed in.
And his eyes pop out of his dang head.
Yeah, his eyeball popped out. Loved it. I loved it so much. Actually, on Facebook, I got called sick, disturbing individual, and don't know how I could watch it because I was very happy to see his head get bashed in. My whole problem is, how can you watch a show that is all about gore, zombies, and someone randomly dying and not be able to take someone getting a baseball bat to the head?
Because it's Glenn.
Yeah, but he was a pizza delivery dude that ended up getting a girl pregnant. I mean, it was time for him to die.
You didn't like Glenn, you're kind of lying.
No, I like Glenn, but he
had
needed
to like
to die.
Glenn. Everyone liked Glenn.
Pretend like he's not. He's just a dude. He's like the purest dude on the show, and like
no. He was the purest dude on the show.
Yeah,
he's thankfully dead.
Why is he thankfully?
Because his character needed to die. There's nothing else for him to do. I didn't want to see him raise a kid. That's boring. The kid just needs to get eaten by a zombie when she finally pops it out. I mean, the kid is non-existent in the comics. She gets dropped off at a civilization right after he dies, and you don't see her again as far as I know.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, but I guess she's going to be a mainstay if she even has the baby. I don't know. But I loved it. Abraham, I think he said, suck my balls before he got his head bashed
suck
in.
my nuts.
Yeah, I love that. He actually knew the beginning of last season he was dying on that episode. So he had to sit an entire season and then film that knowing he was dying.
That's awkward.
And not tell a soul. Because the cast didn't know either, apparently.
Oh, the cast didn't know?
Not until the end of the last season.
Did the cast know about Glenn?
Yeah.
Oh.
Glenn didn't know.
I mean, yeah.
I would imagine so. But
I loved it. The whole episode was good. Rick going nuts. Negan, the guy's perfect for Negan, in my opinion.
yes, he is very perfect.
They did a good job of making it not identical to the comics either, because like the whole I'm going to chop off your kid's arm thing.
Yeah.
They and Game of Thrones have done a good job of keeping even the big fans on their toes.
Oh yeah, I love
the way to do it. Make it your own story.
It really made up for last season. I enjoyed last season, but overall, I think it kind of fell flat. It wasn't the greatest season they've had. A lot of people didn't like it. I enjoyed it from beginning to end, but it did have its faults. This episode was really redeemed the entire series.
So what do you think about the fact they basically saved Glenn a few episodes ago?
Oh yeah, after the whole zombie thing,
right.
They had to do that. They've done it a couple, 3 or 4 times since the series started. It was like, hey, he might die. No, he's not.
It seemed dumb to go through that big ordeal and he made it, and then just to kill him a couple weeks later. It seems silly.
Yeah, but come on, the eyeball popping out and say, "I'll find you," all stuttery. That was awesome. And him just keeps slamming the bat into his vacant skull.
Best season opener, right?
Yes, I love it.
Had a lot of
People
battles.
called out on work saying a family member died. It was all over Twitter and Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, even my job, barely anyone showed up. And a lot of it was because of that show. They couldn't handle the loss
That tells you where we are in a society.
Yeah, where me, I watched it at 6 a.m. in the morning, and it was better than coffee. I loved every second of that episode.
Well, yes, watching somebody get their head bashed in is a surprise head bashing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll wake you up.
To me, it wasn't that much of a surprise. I was pretty sure 2 people were going to die. I knew Glenn was definitely.
Still wildly intense.
I really expected Mullet to get bashed.
I thought they were going to switch it up and kill Maggie.
I thought of that.
I thought Maggie too.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to do that because they already kind of tested the waters with the kid being 8, back in the prison scene, but the kid didn't get 8. So I didn't think they're going to kill off Maggie. I expected Mullet and Glenn, but I got
was
half right.
surprised a female did not get killed.
No, I'll give it until next episode.
Yeah,
Alright.
but they are running out of plenty of people right now, right?
Especially the originals.
Oh yeah, the original.
You have Michonne,
You just
Rick,
took out one of the
Carl,
originals.
Well,
and
Michelle's
Daryl.
not even an original. I mean,
True, so you have, I guess, Daryl's not really original either. You really only have Rick and Carl if you really would go down the
Carl, pretty
line.
much.
Yeah.
Because Daryl didn't show up until a little later, I thought.
Yeah, a couple episodes, about 3 episodes.
I guess
later.
he was season 1 at least.
He was
season
so
one.
Yeah.
We'll throw the little redneck dude in there.
But I mean, technically, for original initial cast member, right? You just lost one, Glenn, because he was first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still likable.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
He was.
I liked him, but I mean, sucks to suck, right?
Yeah, well, I guess he's delivering pizzas in zombie heaven now, so.
Yes. So with that, we will move on to tech and info and entertainment. We're going to look into the possible merger of AT&T and Time Warner. Anyone's thoughts?
I've been meaning to kind of read up on this because it's kind of intriguing, but I haven't even got a chance.
And this goes into our conversation earlier that we were discussing about the globalists and one world economy, one world government, and the Illuminati. So this is just all part of the plan, guys.
I think it's some good media options. I mean, it's
Yeah,
going to
it
build
definitely
AT&T up pretty well and see what they're going to be able to do with it.
Yeah, one of the baby bells finally grew back up into, I guess, a huge bell.
If this happens, it will definitely come full swing.
I know,
I mean,
right?
it's not really a monopoly. You still got Verizon and everything else.
Right, and that's one of the reasons it technically wouldn't be a monopoly, but it's in there.
Pretty dang close.
Because you look at what Time Warner holds, it holds some pretty heavy stuff.
And you think that might help DirecTV? Because AT&T has a deal with DirecTV with phones, so you think that's going to coincide with DirecTV somewhat?
Oh yeah, I mean you could do special packages with the DirecTV feature, which is interesting. The fact that they still want to do this immediately and so close because they just acquired DirecTV a year ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what you do after you buy a satellite company? You buy a cable company.
Well, that's because so when it rains, you have something to fall back on.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Weird.
Yeah, I've had satellite. It's really not worth it.
Did you have backup cable?
No.
That's where
I had an antenna.
Yeah. That's no good.
Yeah.
But it's already kind of like a monopoly kind of system, the way it works. Like, Time Warner and Comcast just have an agreement to not compete in certain markets.
That's all over Orlando like that. There's some areas that you would not get AT&T, but you can only get Comcast and vice versa.
Like Philadelphia, you can get Comcast, you can not get Time Warner.
Oh yeah.
And I think Comcast has stayed out of New York City because, Time Warner's got New York City. And that it's not like they're scared of each other, but they just have an agreement. Like, you stay out of this town, I'll stay out of this town.
Yeah.
Which sounds like,
It's a monopoly. How can you control an area? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So this...
It'll be intriguing to watch.
Well, actually, it's more than just a cable company. They spun that off a few years ago. This is actually a whole media conglomerate that they've got. It involves home box office and all its subsidiaries like Cable Max or whatever? Cinemax. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cinemax.
HBO.
All the HBOs, all like it does.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
There's an obscene amount of HBOs.
There's way too many. Way too many. I mean, I remember there was like HBO 1, 2.
HBO Zone?
Now
What do they even show on HBO Zone?
What is HBO Zone?
Now there's HBO Go, HBO Now.
Yeah.
What the hell is the difference?
Well, those are apps through different providers.
HBO Now is whatever's on HBO. HBO Go is stuff that's just streaming content.
I got you.
There you
HBO goes through your cable. provider. HBO Now you have separate from any cable plan.
Gotcha.
And along with that, they also have Turner Sports, Turner Broadcasting, TNT, TBS, Warner Brothers,
Cartoon Network,
all its subsidiaries, Hanna-Barbera,
Boomerang,
Adult Swim, Boomerang.
Damn.
Dude, Turner Sports is no joke.
No, it's not. I mean, I expect they're right now hosting the World Series
Yeah.
on Fox.
And I say they have the best sports broadcasting team in all of sports with the NBA on TNT.
Yes,
Excuse me.
I'll agree with that too. And they also have DC Comics.
Yeah, still kind of scared about Batman, but we'll see how it goes.
They've had it the whole time.
At least for a while.
Yeah, I mean, like, think about every Batman cartoon series that's been on television. They've all been put out by Warner Brothers.
And most of them were Adam West, and that was okay.
See, there you go.
Like Scooby-Doo and all that, I was okay with that.
Yeah, they also have Castle Rock Entertainment to go with it. Oh, and the CW network.
Oh, wow.
So they've got a whole little plethora of
CW's
stuff.
no longer on Hulu, so they can really corner that.
Oh, they also own 10% of Hulu.
Which that is intriguing to me.
That's probably where they want to get into.
Yeah.
That's probably very true.
But AT&T wants to acquire Time Warner for $85 billion. And just to add to it, this is not the same AT&T that was the American Telegraph telephone company from back in the day. This is actually one of the baby bells that started out as Southwestern Bell after the antitrust split off. And it later acquired the original AT&T in 2004, 2005, and took its name and has successfully become its own monopoly in a way.
Yeah.
And this will definitely do it itself, trying to compete and stay up with Comcast Universal, or Comcast NBC Universal, and the likes of Yahoo, AOL going to Verizon. So it's a whole new media age we're going into.
Yeah. It's different, new, and intriguing.
So with that, we're going to step to another subject. Nintendo's new console, the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, we watched the little promo of it. It looks pretty sweet.
I'm into it.
It does.
I'm into it too.
If it has at least 4 to 5 hour battery life, I'm buying it.
Yes, and for an example, to anyone that doesn't know, it's got 2 little controllers on each side of its screen. Little joystick piece with the D-pad, A/B. And it has actual standalone controllers for one first person. But the controllers that stand on the LED screen itself sit on a docking port charger. When you're ready to go, you take them off the controller and then slide them on the LED screen, and you're good to go. And it actually transfers everything to that screen, because that is actually the console. The screen is the console.
Hey, genius little controller ideas, because like if you snap one of the little side controllers off, you can flip it over and play classic games with it.
Yep.
Or if a game has basic controls,
Right.
you can play it with just a little half controller.
Even if you're on the road, you can do 2 players.
Yeah, and then you got double for like more serious gaming. I don't know if they've got like the motion stuff, like the
That I'm not sure yet.
Wiimote kind of stuff. I don't know if it has that. I'm kind of interested to see what it's got with that.
But it's got a new modified NVIDIA card, and it looks like it's going to run the Unreal Engine 4, which is really good for first-party games. And it's looking really good for the console. They expect they can compete with PlayStation and Microsoft.
The only question
At third-party games, I apologize.
The only question I have was, are these games all downloaded? Because it looked like in the video that he popped in, or like little SD card games, like they use in the what's the one that you were talking about earlier? The little Game Gear that you were talking about earlier.
The 3DS?
Yeah, 3DS. Because I think it uses like little mini SD cards that are the game form.
Well, they still use cartridges for that mainly, but you can also download them to an SD card.
Yes.
That's a good question. I mean, I don't know if you have to have constant internet connection, so you can always
No, this is
access
actually
something.
going to use a proprietary type of flash drive.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So,
I wonder what kind of gigs you're looking at.
Nintendo being the anti-disc company they've always been, they're going back to some kind of cartridge.
We're kind of getting to a place
where you can't
moving away
export
from
that.
discs anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's limitations that they're actually starting to kind of hit with.
That's crazy,
Even
right?
Blu-rays.
That is crazy, the fact that you actually found a limitation of Blu-ray.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, and it's really good for Nintendo. This hopefully can put them competing.
Yeah, I mean, I know the Wii U, or the Wii U. My parents bought it, so that was different. So I know.
I would have seen that.
I know it was like a
Mario Party? What did they buy it for?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
He said they just got it for the heck of it.
Yeah.
I like it.
So I know older people were buying that particular game system.
But yeah, apparently the media is going to be some kind of game card. They haven't released just game card.
It looks like a sweet spot for Nintendo because, it's somewhere between them trying to compete directly and them doing another gimmick system like the Wii originally was.
Being portable is pretty sweet.
Yeah, so
Yes,
it
that's
is
gonna
a
go a
little
long way.
gimmicky. It is a little gimmicky like the original Wii, but it's a lot more put together.
And especially if the graphics are as good as advertised,
Oh
and
yeah.
especially on the go graphics, this could go a long way, and this could actually save Nintendo.
Weren't they playing Call of Duty on it?
Yes, I believe they were playing Call of Duty, NBA Jam, a number of popular third-party games that Nintendo is unfortunately not seeing in years.
Yeah, the battery life is really going to tell you if it's going to be worth it, because if it's going to be on the go system, it really has to have a good battery life.
Yeah, or aren't you gonna walk around with a battery pack in your backpack?
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
I don't know if they see it as a portable system. I think they see it as a console that's easier to take with
on
you.
the go.
But it's a console system, I think, in their eyes. But I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, the commercials show them, I'm on a rooftop, I want to play some Mario with my friends, or I just finished a basketball game, let's play some NBA Jam.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're just saying, yeah, you can be at home playing, but if you want to play with your friends in a random park, you can, but there's no really idea of the battery life.
Yeah.
It's gotta be pretty decent.
Yeah, you would definitely think so.
And how's it going to be in the sun is the question, too. 'Cause I know they were playing outside, but, is it going to have a glare effect? I mean, there's still a lot of questions.
Yeah, it's all a way to be seen, but we'll keep you updated on that. And with that, we're going to move from tech to sports. Not really too much in sports this evening, so we're going to just... And with that, we're going to take a look at the World Series. It's Game 2. Right now, the score update is the Cubs 5-1 over the Indians. Top of the 7th. It was pushed back because of the weather. World Series update. Indians take a 2-1 series lead. The first World Series game played in Wrigley Field in 71 years. Game 4 is tonight.
Wow.
Neither team has won in a long time. Indians have not won since 48, and the Cubs have not won since 08. And by 08, I mean 1908.
Yeah.
It's a
They
minute.
pressed a goat, right?
Yeah, because they brought a goat into the stadium. And
Maybe because they just suck.
well, that they could back then. I mean, no one really noticed a goat in the stadium because, 100 years ago. But apparently the owner's like, get your goat out of here. It smells. People don't like it. And the guy who had the goat apparently was mad. And he cursed everyone and the team.
Gypsy?
I don't know, but apparently his curse worked.
They kicked a goat out of a tavern because it was bothering fans because it smelled bad.
See? There you go.
Goats and beer don't mix.
Outraged, he allegedly declared them Cubs, they ain't gonna win no more. Because they kicked his goat out.
They ain't gonna win no more.
That's so damn country. I don't even know what to say anymore.
Yeah.
Put it this way, the last time the Cubs won a World Series, their pitcher was named Mordecai. And he had 3 fingers. When Mordecai was a popular name.
I'm
So
pretty
with
sure if
that,
you're Amish, it's still popular.
You can be effective with Nightcrawler. He only has 3 fingers. He's
this is
effective.
true.
And he has a tail. and
Super
he's
cute,
blue.
to be honest. Yeah.
His tail. Yeah, he just got you there.
Apples to apples.
And then there's the NBA season finally kicked in.
Yeah, the Warriors got stonewalled last night.
Yeah.
At home.
At home. How did that happen?
By the Spurs.
You know what else I can't believe happened? The Warriors blew a 3-1 lead.
Yeah.
Do y'all
That
remember
is kind of funny.
Everybody is reminded of that constantly, by the way.
But nothing really major going on in the NBA. It's just another start. We'll keep you updated on it. The season openers are still going on.
Bron got his ring.
What? Yes.
Bron did get his ring. Cleveland dropped. Just think about this, people. Cleveland dropped a championship banner the same day they're hosting the World Series.
Never thought I'd see the day.
What is that? What is that about?
It's finally their time.
So you're telling me there's still a chance in the next 100 years?
Think the Browns will make it to the playoffs?
No, I'm thinking the Jaguars will make it to the playoffs in the next 100 years.
Maybe.
No, I don't believe in victory anymore.
And a few other season openers. Well, the Cavaliers did destroy the Knicks, the Bulls East, 117-88. The Trailblazers blazed over the Jazz, 113-104. And of course, as we spoke about earlier, the Spurs destroyed the Warriors, 129-100.
Side note about the NBA: out of all professional sports leagues, their teams have the best names.
They really do. They honestly do.
Magic, the Raptors, the Jazz.
And for games going on tonight, the Pacers.
I don't think the Jazz is a good.
It's not bad.
It's a great name.
It would just be better if it was in New Orleans, though.
The Utah Jazz is great because of how ironic it is.
Fair enough. The Pacers beat the Mavericks in overtime, 130-121. Defense is not an option. Celtics beat the Brooklyn Nets, 122-117. Heat beat the Magic in a Sunshine State showdown, 108-96. Raptors beat the Pistons, 109-91. And 2 games still ongoing. The Nuggets are beating the Pelicans in New Orleans, 98.
I take back what I said. They got a team called the Pelicans.
There you go. I was
That's
waiting for
pretty
that. That is pretty rough.
Yeah, and their mascot was pretty horrible.
Yes, it actually
Their
made children
mascot
cry.
was a nightmare machine. All right, which one are you talking about? Are you talking about
The Pelican.
the Pelican itself, or King Cake Baby? That thing is the scariest mascot I've ever
I want to
seen.
know about Team Kick Baby.
Oh, that was.
King Cake Baby.
Yes.
It was pretty bad.
It's a giant 7-foot baby in a diaper. It's got like that plastic baby doll face that you
So it
see
kind
in
of looks
horror
like
movies.
the baby from like
Chuck.
Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, a little bit. Just without the cigar.
But like plastic face.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like this team.
Oh, dude, it'll haunt your dreams.
All right.
And,
I do not want to know my dreams.
and to wrap that up, the Timberwolves and Grizzlies are tied up with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, 85 all. And one last bit of NBA news: Seattle may be closer to getting an NBA team or an NHL team, however it works, because the investors have announced they are a lot closer to an arena, and that they are going to do it all themselves. It's going to be privately funded.
Nice.
They're asking for no city assistance or state of assistance.
I guess I don't want to hear anyone's mouth about what they want to do in the stadium.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
They also said that whatever happens, with the economy changing around, or at least in their perspective, they said since we're no longer in a recession, they can do it themselves.
Well,
Go for it.
Go for Seattle. They didn't deserve to lose the Sonics in the first place.
Almost lost the Seahawks.
They did almost lose to the Seahawks. They actually went to Anaheim for a week and a half before the NFL moved them back. And with that, we're going to move to the news of the weird.
So it looks like this floor man runs himself over while leaving a strip club, crashes his truck into a house, and flees.
I'm still trying to figure out how he's able to flee after running himself over.
I'm trying to figure out how you ran it into the like none of the story doesn't. I don't know how you do all those things.
Well,
Yeah,
I can understand it. First, you go to a strip club, you make it rain, you get really drunk, then you get out your truck to check something, you end up running your leg over, but you're so drunk you don't feel it. It hits a house, you realize it's not your house, and you run home to your trailer.
So did it idle into a house?
That's from what I'm understanding. He literally just left it in drive, and it just slowly goes into a house, and he just kind of hobbles and runs away. Why he thought he'd get away when, it's registered now. But
And
I
there's
mean,
a truck in this lady's house, too.
Well, here we go from the news. It was a 28-year-old man leaving the Dancer Royale strip club in East Colonial Drive. fell out of his truck while it was moving, and it ran over his leg, according to the Florida Highway Patrol. The incident was reported at 2:41 a.m. on Tuesday morning. FHP said he was intoxicated. His friends begged him not to drive, but he got in the truck and started it up anyways. Troopers said the driver was not identified, but he fell out of the truck as he tried to drive away, and the truck ran over his leg. The truck then rolled down the street, hit a ditch, and crashed into a home on Old Chitney Drive. A person was sleeping in the room where the truck came to a stop, and her son, Arian, said it was a miracle she survived.
I'm gonna need a video recreation of this whole thing. Are you telling me they jumped a ditch into somebody's yard after?
Well, it's a Florida ditch, so it's basically just a little bit of a dip, and then the house.
So it's
right
basically
there,
like a ramp.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Just sped it up and however they want.
For it to go from
It's
5
like
miles an hour to
Rains
7
High
miles
School,
an
since
hour.
they don't have any drainage or sewer system, they have ditches that aren't really ditches, kind of just a little bit of a dip that's more like a ramp.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was like.
The impact knocked this one person out of her bed. She says she has a strained neck. Barbara Hernandez, 58, of Miami, was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. I'm really angry because he could have killed my mom. He didn't even take responsibility for it. The driver fled on foot, trooper said. Investigators tried to contact the driver at home, but were unsuccessful. Charges are still pending. We've got one more piece of news of the weird.
A website you can tell if someone has died in your home. That's strange.
It is very strange.
I looked at my house. I'm surprised that no one died. I know my parents' house, someone did die because they were told by the owners that their mother died. It was there for a couple days, but the website doesn't really work. But on to other news, another story we got is a family's ex-boyfriend tried to rip out Indiana woman's tongue. She remains in the hospital after her boyfriend left her with serious injuries. Her family says Miss Hager, 25, is out of the intensive care unit in a stable condition now. Her brother-in-law, Eric, said, but will require more medical care in the days ahead. Has more than 20 bite marks all over her body. That's some kinky stuff.
That is some real crazy stuff.
Including her fingertips as well as all over her body, including, this is all from the incident. Ryan Cameron allegedly strangled her and tried to rip her tongue out. Threw into the door frame, cutting her forehead and breaking the door frame.
Well, it sounds like this guy, they need to get an injunction on stat.
Oh, he looks like a hillbilly, too.
So hillbilly does it all.
He's dirty like he's been rolling around in mud. They had to reattach her tongue in her throat.
I don't know. How does that work out? I mean, what kind of surgery does that take? It's got to be a pain in the butt.
Sounds like it.
It sounds like it's painful in general.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't sound very pleasant.
It ain't yodel, that's all I know.
And with that being said, if you want to go to the website that Rob and Jason were referencing, it's called diedinyourhouse.com. And you can find if someone did die in your house.
Maybe. May work for me.
And unfortunately, Rob came up unlucky.
Or lucky, however you prefer.
People die. They died in my house. Just makes it a little bit better. Had to bring substance to the home.
All right. So with that being said, I think that's all we have this evening. Thanks for joining us on the Boldcasters. My name's Clay.
My name's Jay.
My name's Justin.
This is Robert.
Follow us on Boldcastify, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and of course, the Boldcasters or Boldcasters on Twitter. Have a great night, y'all.